is saying this is a comet. It poses no threat to Earth.
Can you take us back? What exactly did this admiral tell you?
Well, the last thing he told me was they're real. He said they're real. It was just me and him talking in a doorway, actually, and he described sonar readings of something, and I believe it was described as large as a football field, and the speeds were just something that we're not even close to being able to do underwater. I wasn't thousands of miles an hour. It was in the realm of a couple of 100 miles an hour, but still, I think the closest thing we've got something that does close to 40 miles an hour, maybe, or 45, something like that. I don't know, maybe some of our secret apparatus, but anyway, and this is not the first time this has happened. Mm-hmm. And I've talked to others that have said the exact same thing. People that were on a ship or on a sub, that's something, they had weird pings, things that showed up, and they moved at such a speed that it was just not fathomable. And he turned to him and said, "We have uncovered things that we do not understand. They're moving at speeds that we do not understand. They're at angles, stop and go." He said, "I don't know if it's a wormhole. I don't know how they are doing it, but they are doing it."
You've been meeting with some lawmakers here, and you're calling on Congress to pass the bipartisan UAP Disclosure Act. If they do pass it, what will we find?
Well, what we're going to find out is that there is an element deep within the Defense Department and the operations director of the Central Intelligence Agency that has been committing perjury to Congress, lying, denying the fact that they have recovered a non-human origin extraterrestrial spacecraft and the bodies that they've now DNA tested and know to be non-human.
You're saying, because you represent some whistleblowers, you're saying that they have disclosed to you that this evidence exists, these documents exist, that these phenomena have come indeed from out of this world with actual alien species.
That they know they're non-human.
Did they describe what those species are or look like?
Well, actually not yet to the public. We've gotten this information out. But the fact of the matter is that if we get this bill passed, and we're getting in the process this in the first week of September, we're hoping as soon as they come back from their summer break, that the Senate is going to pass a 64-page bill that mandates that all of the information that is 25 years old or more, that's basically anything before 2000, basically has to be immediately publicly released to the people, okay? And anything else is going to be submitted to a 9-person panel to be appointed by the president. And that panel is not only to go through it and decide what else to release right away, but they're going to set up a 7-year program called the UAP Controlled Disclosure Campaign Plan, to release all of this information over the next 7-year period so that we can adjust our economic systems, our geopolitical structures, our domestic political structures to try to accommodate the fact that we now are aware of the fact that there's an extraterrestrial civilization surrounding us.
So this law is set up to that if we do confirm this evidence that the American people, the world population will learn about this in a measured fashion. Does this include some of those space or those craft that were captured by U.S. Air Force pilots that seem to descend from the atmosphere to the sea, you know, within seconds, defying the laws of gravity and physics?
0.7 of 1 second.
0.7 of 1 second.
From 80,000 feet. In stopping instantaneously at the surface of the ocean because they've been engaged in a back engineering program. They've had these craft for some time and they've been engaged in back engineering the technology, trying to replicate some of these. And so there appear to be some craft that have been back engineered and constructed and that are being flown by U.S. Air Force personnel in a deep secret program. But the reality is that there are a major number of other craft that are not ours. They're not Soviet or they're not Russian and they're not Chinese. And so they're from somewhere else. But now that they've recovered the bodies and they've actually DNA tested them, they know that they're non-human.
Okay, so, all right, say this gets confirmed. What you're saying, what your whistleblowers have told you that worked in the Defense Department, how long do you think that they were here?
Well, they've been here, basically, a lot of the sightings started right around the dropping of the first atomic bombs in 1945. That's when they began showing up around White Sands in the Yucca Flats, and they've been spotted since then. And that they've been, the first crash retrieval was recovered in 1947. Okay, so they've been here since then. And there's all kinds of evidence indicating they've been here periodically earlier.
You know, when this story first came out a few weeks ago, as a resident of New Jersey, as a journalist, I didn't pay it much credence. I thought it would turn out to be a bunch of pranksters and this would all be over by now. The experience I had last night, however, changed the way I feel about this story completely. What I saw was more sophisticated than I ever imagined. Take a look.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 5 lights, 6 lights.
I didn't believe what I was seeing, but what was I seeing? We're here in central Jersey. We've been looking for the past hour. I think we've seen about 40 or 50 of these drones. In fact, there's one over my shoulder right there. One after another, after another. You know, the Ocean County Sheriff, that drone unit, they have an industrial grade drone. They put it up. They were tracking one of these drones, Elizabeth, and they said this thing easily evaded them, disappeared out of thin air. So, you know, to me, it's, if this is not our military, then it's even more scary, and we need the answers, frankly.
Hello, YouTube. Did you know they're coming to take you away? Ho ho, they're coming to take you away. Ha ha. The flying Jehovah's Witnesses, Jehovah Yahweh, Ea Inki, the God of this world, the devil, who's been here since the day he stole us from the garden and made these mud hermaphrodites, and said, "You will serve me, you'll bow down. Vengeance is my name, I am jealous." That deity, who our heavenly family cut their wings off because they had bad intentions, are now flying around in this little crap that our government that sits on the shoulder of the devil, the God of this world, is quite aware about. It's that they lie to me and you, and we're not supposed to be aware about it. So the flying Jehovah's Witnesses are slowly getting revealed, as all things will be revealed. So remember, Crazy Kurt is not just a space trucker, but he's an honest mother. Beep!